Everyone, Bill Hurtado with Transwest Truck Trailer RV in Frederick, Colorado. Don't have my coat on, but it's a little chilly today, so if I stumble a little bit, understand. Today it's my privilege to show you one of our latest acquisitions here. This is a 2014 Airstream Interstate B van, fully self-contained motorhome. However, this one is a little bit different configuration than many you've seen before. I kind of coined a phrase on this. I call it the Vegas Traveler. Nice thing about this is 4 seats up in the front, sofa across the back, and even a side seat over there. This will seat belt 7 people. So this thing is wonderful for a large group, be it a family or just friends, traveling down the road, long distances. Of course, you've got your bathroom and kitchen in there ready to go. 2 televisions. That'll work all the time. Really nice setup. So multifaceted in the ways you can use this thing. A few things I want to talk about on here before I go inside. This 2014 only has 46,000 miles on it, so it's very fresh. I drove it recently and it's nice and soft and handles like a dream. It really is a wonderful thing to drive down the road. Our overall length here is 24 foot 5 inches. You'll say, whoa, that's a little longer than a lot of B vans. Well, yes it is. This is the longest one. This is a model EXT, which we all know stands for extended. It's the 3500, so it's on the 1-ton chassis. So this is the largest one that they make in a B van. B van, very important to know because this is comfortable for everybody to drive. No limitations. I wouldn't mind having one of my grandkids take their driving test in this thing. It's that easy to maneuver around and head down the road. Overall height on this thing is 9 foot 8 inches. So another really nice thing to be under 10 feet right there. That's all the way to the top of the air conditioner. And then inside we have a 6 foot 2 inch interior height. So for most people, that's going to be to where you don't have to duck going through and avoid hitting anything up on the ceiling. Really good capacities on this. Those of you that have reviewed and researched B vans, you know what kind of capacities we have for fresh water, gray water, black water. They're quite limited most of the time, but this one is the biggest I have ever seen. 32 gallons of fresh water, very impressive. 27-gallon gray tank, again, really big. And so many of these have an 8 or a 10-gallon black tank. This one is a 15. So biggest I've seen in capacities on a B van. And part of that's of course going to be because of the extended length on this thing. They have a little bit more room to do those types of things. This has a 3600 watt LP powered generator on it. So LP, liquid petroleum, that's propane, as we all know. And Airstream has already taken the initiative, if you will, to put a large propane tank on this, so you have much more extended time running the generator on this. So 18.9 gallon tank on the propane. That, again, is very big in contrast to other B vans. So let's talk about a little bit functionality on this thing. I'm going to walk around the outside first and show you a few items. Right off the bat, you can see that Airstream has done some really nice burl wood inlays in the dash up here. The leather seats, this is that simulated leather, if you will, ultra leather we call it. Very, very comfortable. Really one of the most comfortable units I've sat in ever. As you could see from the floor plan here, this has a plug in the floor down here for a table to set up. The table is stored behind the seat over here on the driver's side. So that comes out, the leg sticks down into the bottom, and it screws in there so it's nice and stable. The table does not wobble around. And then all 4 chairs can aim towards this table in the center right here. So it's a really nice place for people to sit around and eat or play cards or what have you. The way these seats work, very simple. There's a little lever back here, and they just spin around into position. They'll lock straight back or swivel on an angle, which is the way you would probably be using it with 4 people during the day. All right, so outside here, we have a 13-foot awning with a 7-foot span. So nice, big, shady area here. Even though the sun's down pretty low right now, this makes a really nice patio out here. I took a look at these tires. They have a manufacture date on them in 2019, and these are the Michelins. The previous owner on this unit did not spare any expense on the tires. They put the best things on they could find, and it shows when you drive this. When you give me a call and let me know you're on your way down so that we can drive this, that's when you're going to see how nice this really is. These tires, I'm sure, make a lot of difference. Outside here, there's a 12-volt outlet and a TV outlet. So you can have a television sitting outside here on a small table if you want, and then AC patio outlets right there. So 12-volt or 110, doesn't matter, you can power up a television outside here. All right, so as is the case with all of the Mercedes, these doors will come open all the way around. So full access this way. Magnetic holds back there. As I said, it was a little cold, so I took my coat off. This is a great setup because of the EXT factor, the extended van on this one. We have a lot of storage area here behind the door. So back here is a really nice area for you to put all kinds of stuff in. There's the table leg I was talking about. And Airstream, because they had the space, they gave you this nice little hatch back here for some of your essentials, water hose, sewer hose, adapters, that kind of thing. So nice setup. Storage is wonderful on this rig. This is just a little protective thing so people can't look in the window and see any of your goods stored down in here. I'm going to lower this down because when I make this bed up here, I'm going to show you how this all goes together. It's not a complicated process, but watching this video, you may watch this again after you own this thing because, you know, there's a few steps you have to take. So the first thing I want to do before we go inside is I'm going to remove the headrests here. That's something you want to do, and you'll see why. And then underneath here, there's a support for this electric sofa when it comes back. So I'm going to have that in position ahead of time. All right. If you look at other videos on the Airstream EXT 3500 rear lounge, or just lounge model, I think it's actually called, you're probably going to find almost all of these were black. That was the primary color that they built these in. It's nice to see a white one. I really like the looks of the white on this. I would prefer it over black, 8 days a week. Maybe you won't, but I do. Okay, we have a 6-gallon gas electric water heater. Controls are inside, and I'll be showing you those. Everything's push button, very easy to operate. In that hatch in the back that I showed you, that's where your shore cord connects right here, and it's 25 feet long, and that'll connect you into 30 amp or with an adapter down to your 15 amp household current. Over here, we have hot and cold running water outside. That blue hose that you saw in the back there will connect. So it's a good place to clean up after you dump your tanks and stuff. And I didn't grab the keys, unfortunately, but basically inside here, we have electric controls for your dump valves. So your black and gray are push button again, and that'll discharge your waste. The other nice thing on this is inside here, it has the macerator. For those of you that aren't familiar with that, a macerator is, for lack of a better term, a grinder. It'll liquefy all the waste. And that's important because now you can use regular toilet paper. You don't have to use that RV toilet paper that, you know, we joke about it so thin it only has one side. Haha. Great. That'll pump 100 feet away if you need it to, with standard hose fittings on there for your extended length if you so desire. Otherwise, the end of it has the cone on it that'll drop into your waste discharge at the campsite or a dump station. So flipping the switch on there, everything just cleans right out. Really nice setup. It's the best because that's what Airstream does. Those of you that have watched my videos, I love doing Airstreams. We get them in here from time to time, and I volunteer to do any Airstream, trailer or motorized. I'm a big fan of them. They're in Jackson Center, Ohio, north of Cincinnati a little ways. They just build an exceptional product. So if you're looking for the Bentley of motorhomes in a Class B, this is it. And it's all because of that name Airstream being on the side of it right there. This is just furnace discharge right here. This over here is where you fill your fresh water tank. And you know what? This just kind of goes hand in hand with what I was just saying. Here is a metal cap for your water fill. You can't lose it, and your hose fits in there perfect to fill this thing up. This is indicative of the way Airstream builds every aspect of this motorhome. It is just the best they can do. Same thing with your water entry right here, your city water fill. This is also the metal, not the plastic on here. And that is pressure regulated also, so that when you're hooked up to that thing, you're not going to blast your fittings and stuff apart inside. Over here, there's the key I was looking for. You can hear it binging. Over here, you can just get another look at that burlwood dash up there, the nice accents that they do. You'll see the rear view mirror up above that has the backup camera built into it. That's a natural position where you've been looking to see behind you your entire life. So it makes sense to put the backup monitor in there and not in the dash. It just feels normal to drive this thing. Really, really nice. All right, so moving around here, since 2008, Mercedes, that's the year they switched to the 3-liter V6, 188 horsepower, 325 pound-feet of torque engine. Obviously, it's been proven they're still using it today. I like the way Sprinter did this, so when you raise the hood, it locks in right away for you, right there. Very easy to change your cabin air filter over here. Check your coolant level, your DEF reservoir, your oil fill. Your air cleaner is inside here. That takes a little more work to get out, but it's a big one, so it doesn't need to be changed all that often. The battery for the chassis on this unit is actually mounted underneath, outside underneath the driver's seat area. But if you ever needed to jump start, they make it easy with your positive connection here and then a post over on the other side for your negative. So easy to get to everything. Brake fluid and windshield washer setup. This thing was really well taken care of. It's in nice shape. I see it's got a new battery in it, which is dated 3 months ago. So that's really nice too. That's the battery for the house. All right, let's take a look at a couple things inside. Oh, one last thing. This also has all the proximity sensors front and rear. So that's what these are right here. And those are going to warn you if you're getting too close to objects. Many of you are familiar with that on today's automobiles. All right, so as we move in, Airstream has a knack for using every bit of space they possibly can for storage. There's no empty knack for using every bit of space they possibly can for storage. There's no empty voids that you can't access or utilize. And look at this small little spot right here. You know, that is just indicative of the way Airstream builds their units. They had a little bit of space, they gave it to you. They build an exceptional product here. Okay, so as we move in, I'm going to talk about a couple of things. I mentioned already this has 2 televisions, and one of the reasons for that is if you have all 4 of these seats facing each other right here, with only 1 television, 1 set of people can watch that. Well, the other TV back there swings around and faces this direction, so those people can watch that set, these people can watch that one. It's really brilliant. It's a good design. The cabinetry that they use. Now this has been used by other manufacturers as well, but it's the best. These cabinet doors are very lightweight. These hinges are extremely strong. That's not something that's going to break and you're going to have to replace soon or possibly ever. Very lightweight doors, but very strong. They're called Technoform, and they're built in Italy. So since so many manufacturers are using these things, they are readily available. You can go back as many years as you want. I'm not sure when they started doing it, but it was probably in the 2010 range, right in there, I think. All right, so we get back here, we've got a really nice surface top area that's flush. And that's because everything tucks away, such as your faucet right there, and then access to your 2 burners, a small one and a large one. So your galley is always ready to go for whatever you want to do with it. All of these doors, drawers, they all have this locking mechanism here. And I don't know if Airstream invented these, but it was an Airstream was the first time I ever saw these. Now, again, other manufacturers are using them, but they're wonderful because who wants stuff flying open when you're traveling down the road, especially if I'm driving? So being able to lock that stuff up is great. Over here, you've got just a little sponge drawer. You've got 2 drawers for utensils and silverware and that kind of stuff. That's a 4 cubic foot refrigerator. That is a 12-volt refrigerator with a small freezer section in it, right there. I am a huge fan of 12-volt refrigerators. As opposed to an RV refrigerator, which is the absorption style, this will cool down 4 times faster than an RV fridge. It does not have to be level like an RV fridge. And its power is always readily available. Because of the solar panels we have up on top, that's keeping your battery topped off all the time. You're running down the road, your alternator's keeping your battery topped off all the time. So no matter what the situation is, this is always going to work. And it's going to work fast and very efficient. So, big fan, 12 volt, I love them. There is a extension for the galley back here. And I'm actually going to leave this up into position because now that we're back here, this is where I can assemble the bed. I mentioned this has 7 seat belts. You saw the 4 seats up there. There's 2 seat belts for the sofa, and then there's one for this jump seat right here. When it's time to make this into a bed, both sides will flop down and meet each other right here. So that's going to give us our extended length. For tall people, it's going to be really nice. I would say, I didn't measure it out, but I believe that the length on this is going to be, I'm going to say about 78 or 79. So it's nearly residential size in length right here. So like I said, seat belts over there, storage under both sides over here. And then here we go. Another little space they had, so they gave it to you. So you can store some items in under there as well. No seat belt on this side for obvious reasons. Okay, so we're going to turn this into a bed now. And then we're going to go back outside and I'm going to show you one more little thing about turning this into a bed. So that sofa lays down flat. There we are. And we'll head outside now. I want to show you one last little thing that you're going to want to do when it comes time to turn that into a bed. As you may have noticed, everything is really easy to operate, be it push button or simple operation. So it's about 74 inches right now. When we bring down our extra little walls right here, okay, this probably is 80. It probably is a full 80 because I was just kind of guessing at the depth of this. But you can see now that makes a big, big bed. So you can travel with 7. You can easily dine with 4, but you can sleep 2. So that's the mathematics on this one. So when it comes time, hey, everybody get out, we're going to bed. All right. I think that's about it on this one. Again, I'm a big fan of Airstream. I'm a big fan of Bentley too. You know, I think they're the best car out there. And this goes hand in hand with RVs and cars. This is the Bentley of RVs, in my opinion. They're just so smart the way they build everything. So please take the time, look through this video again, watch how I kind of operated stuff. I did mention, of course, that it's got the gas electric, it's got the solar, it's got an energy management system for the AC power coming in, so you're not blowing breakers inadvertently. It does have a 1,000-watt inverter on here. All of those are controlled in a panel I did not show you up in the top up here, but trust me, they're there. And if you'd like to know more about this thing, I'd love to take your calls, emails, texts, whatever works for you. Once again, I'm Bill Hurtado with Transwest Truck Trailer RV in Frederick, Colorado. And it's turning out to be a pretty nice day today. If you're lucky enough to catch me at my desk, my office number is 303-684-3441. Otherwise, my cell phone, which I try to keep nearby as much as I can, 714-809-4813. And of course, email is a good resource for you, bill.hurtado@transwest.com. Most importantly, thank you very much for taking the time to watch this. I would love to take your calls and answer some questions. And if you have time, come down and take a look firsthand because it's pretty impressive. Signing off. Thanks very much.